Good morning. It's Sunday the 19th of March 2023 and I'm starting and ending today's walk here in Millthorpe. Millthorpe is a tiny hamlet in the parish of Holmesfield, surrounded by beautiful countryside verging onto the Peak District National Park. Millthorpe's most famous resident was Edward Carpenter, the poet and socialist philosopher. Millthorpe remains the quiet village that attracted Edward Carpenter, with no church and only one pub, the Royal Oak. I remember the Royal Oak being a lovely little pub. It's been a long time since I've been here though. I do remember coming here a couple of times in the past. It was very nice. Erected by the residents of Millthorpe and Holmesfield, 12th of May 2005, commemorating the 50th anniversary of a tragic plane crash. At 3:25 on the 12th of May 1955, Gloucester Meteor F8 WE904 crashed close to this site. The 19-year-old pilot was the only fatality. In memory of Pilot Officer Robert A. Tritton of Stonehouse, Gloucestershire. 211 FTS RAF Worksop, forever with the Lord. Going over the main road, I walked down Mill Lane to reach a ford. First style of the day. Oh, shortly followed by a second one. Off we go then. And what a beautiful morning it is. The path beyond Mill Farm took me across a field to a small bridge. Through a couple more stiles, I followed another field with a hedge to my left. I was beginning to climb a little, where I paused to look around me. Getting some beautiful views already. Right behind me on the skyline, that's Holmesfield. Lovely. Okay, I think today's going to be a lovely day. Let's press on then. So I think today's walk comes to just over 7 miles. It's meant to be dry today. We've not had very good weather lately. This past week or so, it's been very wet. We had some snow quite recently. So really today is the first day I've managed to get out for a while. But yes, I'll make the most of it whilst I can today. But yeah, today's walk, it all falls within North East Derbyshire again. But we will be visiting another part of Derbyshire, a very important part. Bearing left, I crossed another stream, climbing up the bank the other side. I went straight ahead, and just before Woodseats Hall Farm, I turned right to follow a path along the edge of Holland Wood. Rejoining the track I had crossed a little earlier, I followed it as it bore left, climbing on up through the wood. I eventually reached a lane in the quiet hamlet of Moorhall. I turned right here to follow the lane. So I'm in Moorhall now. I think I've only ever been through here once before. It's a pretty quiet little settlement. Okay, well I've just got to follow this road for a while now. And before long I'll be entering the Peak District National Park. After about a mile, the lane led me to Shillito Wood, where I took a path off to the right to enter the wood. I'm in the Peak District National Park now then, and this is the gorgeous Shillito Wood, a very pleasant spot. Now, one thing I should perhaps make clear, and not everybody might be aware of this, but the Peak District is actually a wider area than what the National Park covers. It's not just what's within the National Park boundary, but there are no definitive boundaries to the Peak District, and various people have their own ideas of where they feel the Peak District starts and ends. Whereas like today, I've started in Millthorpe. That's not in the National Park, but some people may consider some of the area of the walk I've done so far to be in the Peak District before it reaches the National Park boundary. I don't know. So, and also in Derbyshire, the Peak District mainly falls within two of the main boroughs, which is Derbyshire Dales, which is where I live. So Derbyshire Dales has Matlock, Bakewell, Ashbourne, Hathersage, Bradwell, and the other major borough is High Peak, and that covers places like Buxton, Glossop, Hayfield, Chapel on the Frith, New Mills. But there is also a little bit of the Peak District that falls within North East Derbyshire, and that's the bit I'm doing today. Shillito Cross is one of several old crosses remaining on the Peak District's eastern moors, which were road signs of their day, vital markers on what were regarded as difficult and dangerous routes. I love these old crosses. There's quite a few of these dotted around in different parts of the Peak District. That's what helped gives the Peak District its character, I think. Meeting the road, I walked along it for about 1/3 of a mile until I reached a gate on the right, leading onto Ramsley Moor. Adders. Adders are a rare and protected species. They are vulnerable to disturbance, especially as they emerge from hibernation between February and April. Ah, so I might see some adders today then. Once through the gate, I followed the signed path along the former dam of Ramsley Reservoir, which has been drained apart from some newer created ponds designed to attract wildlife. After the dam, I came onto a wide track, which bore round to the right. Oh well, I didn't see any adders. I've very rarely seen an adder actually. I can only recall seeing one once. As I carried on, I had good views towards gardens and birchen edges, with Big Moor ahead of me. Right over there in the distance, you'll see Kerber Edge. And this one to the right, which is a bit nearer, that's White Edge. I'm not going over that way today though. The track soon reached the A621, which I crossed with care as the road is busy and traffic travels too fast for comfort. Going through the gate opposite, I walked onto Big Moor, immediately taking the right-hand path at the fork. Just off my route was a stone circle called Barbrook 1 of the best preserved stone circles in the Peak District, and a typical example of an embanked stone circle. Here's a nice little stone circle. A short distance beyond here is Barbrook 2, which is a ring cairn as opposed to a stone circle. It is believed the ceremonial monuments probably date from the centuries around 2000 BC. A different style of stone circle now. Oh well, it's just gone 12, so I think this will be a good spot to park my bum and have my lunch. Made my own sandwich today. It's pretty quiet now, it's surprising. Yeah. For a Sunday I thought it'd be busier. But then I have chosen the quieter path, and that's the reason why I did this. The main track just down there, to my left, probably get more people walking down there, so that was really the reason why I chose to walk along this path. Whilst it is quiet anyway, I'd like to say hi to Kelly. Hi Kelly, hope you're keeping well. Now Kelly has been one of my followers for many years now, so I appreciate that very much, Kelly. And she always leaves nice comments on my videos when I publish them. So on a recent video that I published anyway, Kelly asked a question which was, what is my work? Well, This is something else I've got to be very careful about when I'm making my films. Now, bearing in mind that I know that my videos are going to be published on YouTube, you know, they're going to be made public, I do have to be very careful what I talk about. So when it comes to my work, I never actually say what I do. So that's the reason, because I know it's going public, and it could put me in trouble if I talk more about what I do. Who knows? But yeah, I do have to be very, very careful what I talk about when I'm publishing my films on YouTube. All I can say is that when I've talked about my work before, all I've ever said is that I travel all over Derbyshire for it, but I've never said what I actually do. So that's the reason, because I just have to be careful about it. But what I can say is that my work involves collecting information and presenting information. So it's like a statistical job, really. So yeah, but anybody who knows me knows what I do. But yeah, for the reasons that I've just mentioned, I can't really talk about what my work actually is. Merging with the main track, I headed onwards as my route crossed over and stayed beside Barbrook, briefly taking a small detour as I passed another drained reservoir. I soon approached Barbrook Cottage, where I turned right and headed over Car Top. Well, I'm heading eastwards now. I'm just about to cross over the A621 again, and then I'll be slowly making my way back to Millthorpe. Dangerous road, this. Well, it's not the road that's dangerous, it's the vehicles that travel along it. Or the drivers that drive their vehicles. Going down the bridleway after crossing the A621, I headed downhill on an almost dead straight course. I did a double take there. I thought that said something else at first. Butterflies hover and feathers appear whenever lost loved ones or angels are near. Very quaint. I really enjoyed that sort of woodland walk and waterside walk. Lovely. I'm just approaching the road now, so I'll just follow that for a little while and that'll take me back into Millthorpe. had to take care walking along the road, as there was little to no verge. But once I reached Caldwell Farm, there was a footway, safely leading me back into Millthorpe. So I'm back in lovely Millthorpe, and what another wonderful walk. A lovely walk mainly within the Peak District, but all within North East Derbyshire. I wonder where I'll end up next. Bye for now.